Welcome everybody to a new episode of Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. It is season 10. We've been around for 5 years. We do 2 seasons a year. This is our 10th season.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Where does the time go?
I don't know, but we have you to thank. Thank you very much, of course. You, the audience, not you. Oh, you too. I'm Jeff Bonomo. This is my co-host, wife and best friend, Desiree. And this is Wine, Hops, and Road Stops, shot on location, of course, deep within the bowels of the Latimer compound. And we have a very exciting show today. Number one, it is our St. Patrick's Day show. So we got our green on. I love your shirt because it says Irish Maiden. That's her. And it's, written like the Iron Maiden font, so that's always cooler. That always gets points with me.
That's why I got it.
Thank
you. For you.
Yeah. And my shirt here has a leprechaun on it. See, there's a leprechaun right there.
I think he's my cousin.
So we're all good now. So we're all Irished out. We got the leprechauns on. We got the Irish Maiden shirt. So we're ready to go. This is our St. Patrick's Day show. We're gonna do a little bit of talking about Guinness, of course. Right here. All right, and a little Blue Moon, and we got something for Bright Path. But before we do any of that, we want to welcome our brand new sponsor to this show. It is PoconoMountains.com, the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau, and of course the Pocono Beverage Trail. Now that's a craft beverage trail that is a beer trail, wine trail, and a spirits trail all in one. So it's like
triple the fun.
Triple the fun, yeah. Now coming up in this episode, we talk all about the beverage trail with the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau CEO, Chris Barrett. And of course, we visit one of the spots, the Bright Path Brewing in Jim Thorpe. And I did bring you back a beer. This right here is our IPA, so you may enjoy it.
Yes.
Nice thing about that brewery is everything is 5% and under.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll learn more about later in the show. But first, let's get to some booze news. Sunny D is about to have an alcoholic makeover. That's right, Sunny D Vodka Seltzer has been introduced by Harvest Hill Beverage Company, who acquired the orange beverage in 2017. It has a 4.5 ABV, 90 calories, and 0 grams of sugar per 12-ounce can.
I'm a little conflicted about this.
Why?
Because back in the day, one of my go-tos for a hangover was Sunny D.
Well, now you can have Sunny D and a little hair to dog.
And if you know, you know.
All right, we gotta go take a break because we're going to take a little trip to the Pocono Mountains to talk to Chris Barrett, CEO of Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. Don't go away, there's more Wine, Hops, and Road Stops when we come back. Our road stop today brings us to Jim Thorpe and Bright Path Brewing. I am with Chris Barrett, CEO of the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. How you doing?
Good. It's so great to see you, and it's so great to be in Jim Thorpe, and we're really excited.
Tell me a little bit about the Pocono Mountains.
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have?
We do have time. Okay. Let's talk about, there's a lot to talk about, because there's a lot to do here.
There is. So we're, believe it or not, 2,400 square miles, Carbon, Monroe, Wayne, and Pike counties. And about 30 million folks visit us a year, myriad of things to do, from outdoor activities to indoor water parks to skiing to great food and beverage options. Kind of like, where we're at right now, the Poconos just really has everything.
Right, including a beverage trail.
It does, and if you were to go to PoconoMountains.com, search out beverages, you'll find a beverage trail that has 28 different offerings, and it's really, really cool.
I like craft beer, I like wine, and I like spirits, and the beverage trail has them all.
Right, and this is really the place to find out about it. So it's changing constantly, so we ask folks to revisit it all the time. And when you come onto our website at PoconoMountains.com, you could select Beverage Trail. Go into the Beverage Trail, you'll be emailed something that you can download. It's somewhat similar to an application, but it really gives you all 28 locations and some mapping software to get you from point A to point B. There are deals, number one, but number two, you build points to get really cool swag.
As far as the beverage trail goes, you don't have to do it all in one weekend.
That's right. So if you want to break it up over time periods, over a few successive weekends, that's very, very easy to do with the way this is really set up. And one of the things, as you, Jeff, always say, is we want to make sure that we encourage people to do this very responsibly, when they do it, and drink responsibly and definitely don't drive.
Let's talk about the beer. Let's talk about the wine. Let's talk about the distilleries on the beverage trail.
Well, you talked about Bright Path. There are many. And the thing that really always amazes me is there are just so many entrepreneurs involved in this process, and they invest their whole lives into developing these products. And, you know, it's just not a mass-produced product that comes from who knows where. It's really a product that they've designed themselves, they tested themselves, and they've built from the ground up. So I know you talked to Trip Ravane at Barley Creek, for instance, and Trip is awesome because he has spirits, and he also has a number of beers, and he started with just beers, but then he also added some food to it. So anywhere you would go that has food as an option in our 28, if the 28 folks have it, the food is just amazing because they concentrate just as much on that as they do as on the spirits and the beers.
In the course of me traveling through the area with the show for the last 5 years, I've seen so many of these people from this area really doing some great stuff. I mean, great brewers, and they're taking pride in everything they do. And I've sampled enough beers and wines on the show.
I'm surprised.
to say that. And I was just talking with the owner here at Bright Path, Alex, today, and he was just telling me how he got started and just all the care that, you know, he puts into just brewing day in and day out.
And I know that's what I love about it, Jeff, is talking to the owners. Yeah. So when you visit with them, and if you're a real beer connoisseur, they'll tell you exactly how they developed it. Or if spirits, for instance, Trip is another example, all the different types of whiskeys and the different flavorings and why they're done the certain way that they are. Every time I talk to any of these folks, I always learn something new and how devoted they are to just providing the best product that they could provide that's brewed right here in the Pocono Mountains, which is incredibly awesome. It's a product that's done with a lot of times local sourced ingredients too, which is kind of neat. And the water too. Yeah. That's the one thing I've always kind of talked to a lot of these folks about is where does the water come from? It's sourced locally. Yeah. So there's a lot of carbon in these counties that is like a natural filtration in the aquifer.
Now another thing people may not know is about the Pocono Television Network. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, my favorite subject. Yeah. So we work with you folks a lot on Channel 35, but also the Pocono Television Network is in about 5 million homes in 4 states. We're on 12 different cable systems and over the air in Philadelphia on WDPN 2.8. And it's 365, 24/7, talking about all the cool things that you can do here in the Poconos before you visit. And if you don't have availability to cable, just go to PoconoTelevision.com. We have a YouTube channel there. You could stream us on Roku, Amazon Fire. We're adding things all the time. But the important thing is we kind of really dig into those stories. We dig into why is it different to visit, say, Bright Path, you know, versus going somewhere to Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. You know, why visit us and use the beverage trail? I always tell people this about Camelback. So Camelback is an indoor water park, right? But it also has a ski resort that's all on the same property. So one day it could be 20 degrees and you could be skiing. The next day you could be using an indoor water park in an 84-degree controlled environment. So where do you find that anywhere?
Yeah. There's so much beauty in this area, and that's why I stay, and that's why I decided to do this TV show. So I could I could go around and I could sample some great beer in Pennsylvania, and especially in the Poconos. Chris, I want to thank you for being on the show. We're going to talk to Alex next, and we're going to showcase some of his handcrafted beers. And don't forget to visit PoconoMountains.com for all the info about the Poconos, Pocono Television Network, and the Beverage Trail. When we come back, we talk with the co-owner of Bright Path Brewing in Jim Thorpe. Right now, I'm with Alex, co-owner of Bright Path, and we're going to sample 3 beers here. But before we do, tell me a little bit about Bright Path. Give me the history, how you started.
Sure. Bright Path Brewing, we started, it'll be a year in April that we've been open. We've been working on this for probably close to 4 years, you know, getting everything ready. Personally, I've been brewing professionally for 10 years at a bunch of different breweries and stuff, so it's always been a dream of mine to open my own brewery. I'm born and raised in Jim Thorpe, so to do it here is even cooler.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's great that you decided settle down in your hometown and brew some beer.
Sure, yeah.
I could totally understand that. Now let's talk about the beer you have. Everyone knows I love IPAs. You only have one IPA, which is okay. because you have a bunch of other beers. You have a nice variety. So if someone comes in here and they want a certain type of beer, you probably have it. So on your tap list that I'm looking at over there, let's talk about a few of your offerings.
Sure. So we mostly do lager beer and session beer. So all our beer pretty much falls under 5.5%, and that's by design. But we do a lot of German-style beers. We have a Helles lager, which is a golden German lager. We have a Vienna lager, which is amber lager. We do a light lager as well. And then we have a Czech lager, which is a Pilsner-style lager.
So a lot of breweries are ale heavy. You seem to be lager heavy.
Yeah.
You like lagers?
Yeah, we do. That's what we tend to drink personally. So we just found it a little bit easier to brew that, and a little bit easier for us to sell it then too. You know, be a little bit more passionate about something.
Now these beers look absolutely fantastic in front of me, but before we get to that, Bright Path, the name. Tell me about the name.
So we're here in Jim Thorpe. You know, it is actually Jim Thorpe's native name translated to English. So that's where we got the name from.
That's where you got the name. And a couple names that you have up there on your tap list are pretty interesting too. They have some stories behind them, like Pisgah?
Yep. Yeah, Pisgah. There's actually Mount Pisgah here in Jim Thorpe. It was the switchback ran on it. The incline plane came down it, so it ties into the local history a little bit.
And of course, you have the Skook premium vibes. Yeah. For Schuylkill County, of course.
Yeah, we did that one with a couple of breweries out in Schuylkill County, so we felt it appropriate to give it a nod. We love
All right, let's talk about these beers. What do we have in front of us starting from here? What is that?
On the right here, this is the McGowan's Cream Ale.
Okay.
So this is our pretty standard cream ale. Ours has a little bit more hop character than your normal Genesee cream ale.
So if someone came in here that wanted, like, maybe they weren't huge on the craft beers or they didn't know a lot about the craft beers, would you suggest starting with something like this?
Yeah, that's usually we tell people that's one of our lighter beers. We also have, which is next, the Pisgah Mountain Brew, which is our American lager. So that is our lightest, least hoppiest beer.
Right. Okay, well, let's try this. I can't not try it. I'm looking at it. It looks awesome. I like your mugs too.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's got a nice nose to it. You could smell the ale part of it.
Yep.
If you like your Jenny cream ales and stuff like that, this is probably where you're going to go to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try it out. Oh, that's perfect. There's a nice little bite at the end. Not too harsh. The IBUs are probably not very high on this. I'll probably go like maybe 45 or so.
Yeah, it's somewhere in like the 30 to 35 range. It's not very hoppy at all. We do add a little light dry hop to it to give it that nice floral nose to it.
I could tell there's a little bit more hops than I expected, but it's not going to drive you off. And as far as anyone is watching and wondering what IBU means, it's the International Bitterness Unit. The higher the number, the more bitter beer it's going to be. And this perfect cream ale, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's exactly what the style should be, I think.
Cool. Yeah.
So next up, we have the Pisgah. Now let's describe what this is.
This is just our pretty straightforward American lager. So people who, again, aren't really big into craft beer or afraid of, super hoppy IPAs, want something a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to drink, or if you're looking for something light for in the summertime, this is probably it.
So this is like someone that really likes the domestics, your Coors, your Buds, your Millers. This is where they should go to, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
But this is probably a lot better.
We'll find out.
All right. Yeah, that's a beer that tastes like beer, which is exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
That is like a lawnmower beer. That is getting done cutting the grass, and you're going to have that, because that's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's really good. And, another thing I want to mention is you talk about the ABV being low, and you did that by design. So you could come in here, you could have a couple beers and not really, it won't be hard to wake up the next day, we'll say. How's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be all about. You come here, have a couple beers, have a great conversation. You don't have to drink your 13%, barley wines and stuff. There's room in the craft beer world for stuff like this. And I think beers like this are actually getting more popular as craft beer gets more popular. you know, a lot of people get turned off by those big, thick, heavy beers. I can understand it. Sometimes I do want one, sometimes I don't. So moving on to something a little bit darker, let's talk about this one.
This is our Dunkel Lager. This is actually one of our wet hop beers we did over the fall. So wet hopping is when you get fresh hops that haven't been dried. So there was a local farm called Murphy's Hop Yard up in Effort. They supplied the hops for this beer, so they bring them in, and then that day we brew with them and we use them.
Well, that's great. You know, locally sourced ingredients. Okay, and what is a Dunkel actually?
Dunkel is a darker lager, usually like brownish in color. Not quite stout color, but a little darker.
And this will be heavier on the malt probably?
Yep, more malt forward.
All right, let's try it out. Okay, I get a nice nose, like a nice scent of that malt. Oh yeah, that's great. The finish has a lot of malt to it. I really liked it. Not overpowering, but just enough. That's, oh wow, you can kick back these beers really easily. These are very drinkable beers. You are in Jim Thorpe.
Yes.
Where in Jim Thorpe are you located? You're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, we're right on Route 903, and we're actually on the east side of Jim Thorpe. So on the opposite side from the train station, if you come across the bridge, we're up past 12th Street and about a half a mile below the monument.
Awesome. Hey, I want to thank you for spending some time with me on Wine Hops and Road Stops. Salute, sir.
Cheers.
All right, that's our road stop for this episode. Welcome back to Wine Hops and Road Stops. We're almost out of time, but before we go, I promised you a beer. Bright Path Brewing, Switchback Session Hazy IPA. Let's try this out because this is like an additional beer they gave to me for you, actually. Actually, I want to thank Kate. Kate from PoconoMountains.com. She suggested I give this to you. So,
Kate's my new best friend.
That's right. So we'll split it.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll let you have some.
Oh, thanks. All righty. Let's try out this. This wasn't on the list of stuff that I sampled there. So this is like a little addition to it here, a little extra sampling. So this is a 5% hazy IPA. So you get a nice nose on it. There's nice citrus
I like
and
that.
floral nose to it, but it's not really heavy, I was told. None of their beers are, which again, I think is really cool. You could go there and they're all session beers, so you could go there and have a couple of them and not worry about, you know, being hungover the next day or, you know, anything else. So let's try it out.
Smells really good.
You like it?
That's good.
Yeah. It's not overly hopped. It's not overly hazy. It's like right in the middle because it's only 5%. So
this is how I like it.
let's consider it a session IPA.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, Bright Path, you got a new fan.
Yeah, this is good.
Next up, we're going to do something fun for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
We are going to, you are going to show us how to make a black and tan without the special spoon. Oh, sorry, it wasn't black and tan, it's a black and blue because we have Blue Moon.
Yes.
All right, okay. You can correct me, I'm sometimes wrong. But the main thing is, the reason why we're doing this on the show is because you don't have to have one of those special spoons.
No.
You can use something that you find in almost any kitchen, right?
Yes, you can. And I know you can buy the special spoon. I've seen them. They even make them in cute little character forms and stuff. But you don't need that. You just need something rounded.
Okay. But like a normal spoon won't work. We've tried that.
We've tried the teaspoon. They say you can use a tablespoon. I didn't have any luck with the tablespoon. This right here is your friend.
A ladle.
A ladle.
Okay.
It's just wide enough that the beer pours slowly over it. You will see.
All right.
All right. You ready?
Make me a black and blue.
All right. Gotta think for a second.
Okay. Think. What are you thinking?
Okay.
You know how to do this.
Well, yeah, I made a few over the holidays for my mom. Got her hooked on those. This is the favorite of our friend Maureen Summerdack.
Shout out to Maureen.
All right, so you want to pour maybe half of your glass with your lighter beer.
Right.
Whether it's your Blue Moon or a lager or whatever
if
you're using.
doing black and tan and you're going to use either Bass or Smittix or something, but I like black and blues better, actually.
I do too, actually. But I just like them because they're fun to make.
I like the taste.
Actually, I'm going to just finish this off. So the nice thing is you can make two. You got enough in both bottles to make two. And here's the fun part.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited.
This is the important part right
Okay.
here. All right, so you just want to put that over your glass, right?
Okay.
Okay. And I hold it because I'll make a mess if I don't.
Okay.
And you're going to pour that, whoops, see, like that, over the back of it. Just like that, nice and slow. And I'm making a mess because you want to tilt
That's
it down.
okay. That's okay. I'll clean it up.
And-
Or you can.
I guess that's why they make special ones. But the idea is you pour it slow over the back so that it doesn't just mix in. See how it's just sitting on top there?
Yeah, very nice.
Let's see if I can do this without making a mess this
right.
time. I'm sure somebody has a better idea for this, but this is how I do it. This works for me when I'm in a pinch.
I don't think we own one of those special spoons, do we?
We do not. This is how I do it every time.
See, you don't need one.
You don't. Look at that. How pretty is that?
That is pretty, pretty, pretty.
Yes. So you just pour it right over the back so it just goes very slowly.
Thank you, my Irish maiden.
Aw, I like that.
Very nice, very nice.
Minus the mess, but
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it
okay.
wouldn't be this show without me making
That's
some
true.
kind of mess.
That's true.
I am not a neat person.
Oh, I make messes all the time.
Ah, well, that's why we're in love.
That's right.
All right, so there you go. Guinness and Blue Moon, a black and blue.
Very nice.
It's just so pretty.
Happy St.
And
Patrick's
it's so
Day.
good.
What else do we like? We like drinks and drinks of the week. And I have to say, our drink of the week tonight by the Jackass Distillery is on your screen right now. Make sure you check them out. They are a long-running sponsor of the show also. And again, PoconoMountains.com for all the info about the Poconos, Pocono Television Network, and the Beverage Trail. Have a good St. Patrick's Day weekend. Life is too short to have a bad beer, so drink a good beer. Drink what somebody you love, like Des. See you next time on Wine Hops and Road Stops.